All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Premier's weekly webinars. I'm your host. My name is Curtis Pachoka. I'm one of the physical therapists that work here at Premier. I'm just going to make sure I posted this to the right page before I go over this PowerPoint here. All right. For those of you who don't know, today's topic is about physical activity and the health benefits of physical activity. Let's see. Yeah, looks like we are up and rolling. So, what we want to start off with is a little bit about our clinic here. Uh, we are an outpatient physical therapy clinic. We have two locations. One is on Beach and Hodges here in Jacksonville, and another one is down in Ponte Vedra. We specialize in orthopedics, jaw pain and facial pain, lymphedema, and running programs. Uh, So today's topic, physical activity. Let's see here. Physical activity and health benefits of physical activity. This is one of those things where you might not know at the time how important it is, but years down the line, you might be like, shoot, I should have done these little things to help me in life or help me get the benefits of physical activity. So I'm going to go over the ACSM recommendations for physical activity and kind of explain a little bit about each of these subtopics here. So the recommendations are split into a couple categories, but the first one goes over how much aerobic physical activity and what intensity you will need to get the minimum benefits. And these are the minimum recommendations. So, the moderate intensity aerobic physical activity, and I'll explain the definition of moderate in a little bit, but that's recommended to do 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. And the best definition of that is like a good brisk walk is one of the examples of moderate intensity aerobic physical activity. There's another option. There is vigorous intensity aerobic physical activity. That could be done 20 minutes 3 times a week. And that is more of something that really gets you breathing, really gets your heart going. That could be done at a reduced rate. You can also mix them. Say you don't want to do moderate intensity 5 days a week or vigorous intensity 3 days a week. You could do 4 days a week, where 2 days you're doing a jog for 20 minutes, and 2 days you're doing a 30-minute brisk walk. And I just want to say, I'll explain this a little bit later, but this is not for everybody. Not everybody can walk or run. So you still have to get cleared by a health professional if you have not done these activities and you're not sure of if you're able to even do them, especially if you're having pain with walking or running. And I'll go over some other options for some things you can do if you're not able to get these aerobic activities. So, this does not include light intensity activities. These are things that are usually less than 10 minutes in duration, something like walking around your home or office, cooking, taking care of yourself, etc. They're recommended to do these light activities throughout the day, but they do not count towards your 30 minutes or 20 minutes of moderate or vigorous intensity exercise unless you do it in a strategic way. Say if you park 15 minutes from your office and you're able to do a brisk walk towards your office, then that would count as your moderate intensity aerobic activity. But it can't just be a casual walk back to your office through the parking lot. It has to be an exercise level activity. What's also recommended is muscle strengthening activities. These would include 8 to 10 exercises on 2 or more non consecutive days. And what you want to do, these is basically weight training at the gym. You want to find a weight or a machine where you can do 8 to 12 repetitions with fatigue at the end. That's how you build strength. The reason why you don't want to do it consecutive days, particularly the same body part, is you can get delayed onset muscle soreness that can last uh, a couple days. That's muscle soreness, really intense inflammation in your muscles that really cause a lot of discomfort, and it can cause you not to be able to uh, kind of do normal things because you're so sore. So it can take you out for a couple days. So you want to make sure you have a rest day in between your strengthening days. Make sure you're eating something before you exercise and after you exercise. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not trying to step my bounds, but it's just really important to eat something that's recommended by a nutritionist after and before your exercises for your recovery, to recover from your muscles, to build strength, to build stronger tissue and muscle. So this is kind of what I talked about earlier. Moderate intensity physical activity. It's equivalent to a brisk walk. Vigorous intensity physical activity equivalent to jogging. So if you're not able to walk or not able to jog, or you're wondering what counts as vigorous or moderate level aerobic activity, this is a chart that goes over things that are not walking and jogging that also fit under these categories. So the light activity, intensity activity is the one that doesn't really count towards your health benefits, but it's something that's good to do throughout the day. So this is walking slowly around your home or office, sitting at the computer, making the bed, doing dishes, preparing food, arts and crafts, croquet, I don't know how to pronounce that, but knitting type activities, boating, darts, fishing, and playing musical instruments. So that is light activity. It's still good to do throughout the day. It's better than being sedentary, but it doesn't count towards your recommended physical activity for health benefits. Now we go to the moderate. This is the activity you want to do 30 minutes a day. And you can break it up 10 morning, 10 of them in the around lunch, 10 at night. You can break up in 10-minute increments. But this is heavy cleaning, like washing windows, washing your car, sweeping floors, vacuuming, mopping. So all these chores that you're doing actually count towards your physical activity requirements. So that's a plus. You get a clean house and it's healthier for you, mowing the lawn. And then there's some sports you can do. So it might sound like, oh, it's a waste of time to do sports, I have better things to do. But you get health benefits from playing sports that you love. So badminton, basketball, bicycle, dancing, fishing while you're walking, golfing, swimming, table tennis, and non competitive volleyball. Those all fall under the moderate intensity aerobic activities that can get you the health benefits. So, if you're not a fan of walking, you could do these other activities 30 minutes, 5 days a week to meet your goal to get those health benefits. And now we have the vigorous category. This is the one you have to get 20 minutes 3 times a week. So that's the jogging, the running. You can also do hiking, uh, especially with a light, carrying a light backpack. Then you got shoveling sand, coal, uh, carrying heavy loads such as bricks, farming, such as baling hay, got digging ditches, playing a game of basketball, fast bicycling, cross country skiing is a big one, playing soccer. Then you got some tennis and volleyball. So this makes me happy because I will often play volleyball on the weekends. And now I have an excuse because I now it's healthy. It's meeting my vigorous exercise intensity aerobic requirements. So it's going to be healthy for me. It's something I like to do. I get a tan. It's social. So if you find something on here that you like doing, then you could uh, now do it without regret because it's good for your health. So now the big topic was, what are the health benefits of this? So those are the requirements and how you meet them, but what do you gain out of them? So regular physical activity has an inverse relationship with all of these things. cardiovascular disease, thromboembolic stroke, stroke from a blood clot, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, obesity, colon cancer, breast cancer, anxiety, depression. So you can either take medication for these things, or you can at least try to meet the recommended physical activity intensity minimum requirements, and also try to get rid of these diseases and conditions, these disabilities. So it's definitely a lot safer. There's very little risk of injury with exercising, but you have to clear it with your a health professional if you haven't done it before. And especially if you have pain with walking or running, you're not going to start walking and running for 30 minutes. You have to find something that's pain free. So that's something you might have to consult with a health professional on what activity would be safe for you to do to get your aerobic benefits. So I got a big chart here. This goes over the deaths that happened in the United States in 2017. And the top of the chart, you have cardiovascular disease with 900,000 deaths in that year, almost a million. And then cancer is a follow up with 700,000 deaths. So some of the health benefits of meeting these aerobic requirements include a decrease. It's inversely related to cardiovascular disease. So if you meet these minimum requirements and even surpass them, it shows that the relationship, you're less likely to get cardiovascular disease, and that's the number one killer in our nation. Uh, COVID's a big topic right now. COVID has 200 thousand deaths and rising. But a big thing about COVID is it seems like if you have 2.5 or more comorbidities, you're more likely to die from COVID. What I'll talk about later too is when you meet the requirements, the minimum requirements for your aerobic recommendations, it decreases your risk of dying from anything, from cancer, from respiratory issues, even I would say COVID is included in this, because we're finding out that if you're young, healthy, even if you're older or healthy, you're relatively safe from COVID unless you have a couple of these comorbidities. So, how do you get rid of these comorbidities? Well, exercise is one of the options. So, in a way, exercise can decrease your risk of dying from COVID, but it takes years and years. It's not like if you exercise in a week, it's going to decrease your chances. It has to be part of your everyday routine. That's why we have these requirements. If you hit these requirements every year, you're going to see it in, you're going to live longer and you're going to less likely catch diseases. All right, so this next chart goes over how many people are actually meeting these requirements. So it looks like about 60% of 18 to 24-year-olds are actually meeting these ACSM physical activity recommendations. And if you're 65 or older, only 40% are meeting these recommendations. Part of it is if you get older and you have knees that hurt or your back hurts or something hurts, you're less likely to walk 30 minutes because you can't walk 30 minutes. And and that's where physical therapy can help too. Is if you're in pain, you're not able to move to meet these requirements, we can at least help you or find alternatives on how to get these health benefits and these aerobic requirements. So, in conclusion, physical activity can lower the risk of cardiovascular disease and premature mortality. And this is all types of mortality. Any kind of premature death, exercise can usually help with, unless it's some kind of freak accident like a car crash, something of that nature. Uh, but it also reduces risk of chronic diseases and disabilities. So strengthening, even though it's not the aerobic benefits, can lower your risk of osteoporosis and fractures. I can tell you, if you get a hip fracture when you're older, it is tough to recover from. So if you can exercise, get stronger, and if you do fall, at least have a decreased risk, of injuring yourself. Also, you can do all the aerobic exercise you want, but if you don't have the muscle strength to stand up from a chair to lift something, uh, you don't have that strength to stand up against gravity, then you're not going to be able to accomplish any of these aerobic exercises because you're not going to be independent enough to live on your own and take care of yourself. So strengthening, even though it doesn't have directly health benefits of reducing cardiovascular disease, it's necessary because if you skip that step, you can't get to the aerobic exercises. So, like I said earlier, not everyone can meet these minimum requirements, but if you talk to a health professional, we can at least guide you on alternatives. If you can't walk, you can't jog, we can find some alternatives. And we can maybe even help you get out of pain, get stronger, so you are able to walk at least a little bit to chip away at these requirements. So, what I'm going to do now is check to see if we have any questions. It looks like we are looking good. Let me check my phone here. If there are no questions, then I want to say everyone enjoy their Friday. It's Friday here in Jacksonville. It is sunny. The weather is looking pretty good. I know we are still under some COVID restrictions, but it's important to at least get outside if you are safe to do so and get some exercise in. It looks like there are no comments. So thank you again for watching. This will be on our YouTube channel. If you have any questions, we have a link below to how to contact us. Other than that, thank you again for watching and have a good weekend.